Yeah, Vortex here, and welcome to an IEM that I really wanted to try. This is the Truthear Hexa, and as you probably seen a bit, they got like, must have similarities to like Moondrop and Soft Ears. And anyway, full disclaimers, I'd like to thank Shenzhen Audio Store for sending this unit for me to try it. So thank you very much. I was not paid to do this video, and all thoughts and opinions are my own. These are the standard waifu, which is not my kind of thing, and these are a 3BA 1DD per side, and yeah, let's just get into it. So let's see what you get. Quite nice artwork, even though it's not my kind of thing. There's the brand. Again, I haven't tried the Truthear. There is the Zero model, which is uses dual DD. I've never tried that. Obviously, frequency response graph measured with the BNK 4195Q. Some specs here, so 3BA 1DD per side, PU and LCP composite diaphragm DD, sensitivity impedance 20.5, frequency response, and the cable. So yeah, let's just get into it. So these are meant to be quite a nice pair. Again, I haven't tried anything from this company before to see if it's any good, but this has high hopes. It's meant to graph very similar to the Blessing 2, which I unfortunately haven't tried. Shiroi, if that means anything to you. So paperwork in there, if that means anything to you. So let's look at these bad boys. So this is the right unit. Shape looks quite angular, looks quite interesting. So you can see through. You can even see the actual like balls in there. There's the DD there, bit of empty space at the top. There's an image of the inside of this. I'll try and link it later on when I find it, but yeah. Quite unique, 2-pin, looks like some kind of breathing hole. Yeah, it's a bit different, good to see that. Take these out before they fall out. So bunch of different tips. So foamies, see this all silicon but smaller bore and a bigger bore. So that's it there. Nice leather pouch with the brand, very, very soft. Kind of a decent size really. And here's the cable. So the cable looks a little bit on the cheaper side. I'll have a look in a bit. Obviously right angled, which is good. No mic. Connectors, they look the same as like what's on the Aria. And that's it. So obviously I need to use these, graph them and all that good stuff. And obviously I'll show you the cable in the next clip. And yeah, I'll see you in the future. Yeah, so welcome to my review section of the Truthear Hexa. So this is the cable. So this is probably one of the negatives. It's not it's an okay cable. It's a good enough cable, but I think for $80 it could have been better. So it's quite thin here, and obviously Y split there. There's a chin slider, which is super loose, but to me it doesn't matter. And that's just how they look on the cable. Again, it's the same kind of connectors like on the Aria, maybe on some other models, but I haven't tried that many Moondrop stuff. And yeah, so that's what it looks like. Let's take this off. So build quality is very, very good. So I'm going to overlay a couple images now so you can have a look is how it looks externally with some better light through it, and the internals. So obviously you can see these images now. Now the design of that back, like the internal, I think that's really, really like amazing. Also, these pictures aren't mine, so I'm not taking any credits. These are someone else's pictures, so credits go to them, whoever you are. But you can see it looks like really, really professional setup, which is, I was quite happy with it, to be honest. It was quite good. Yeah, so very good. So the comfort, shall I say, comfort on these is actually better than I expect. So it's just very angular kind of design. Obviously it's some sort of 3D printed design. It's decent. I've tried better, but the comfort is probably better than you expect from this kind of wedge kind of shape, if you know what I mean. It's not too bad. It's still quite curvy around here, so it's not too bad at all. I've used this for a couple of hours. I was actually okay with it, so yeah, not too bad at all. And isolation on these is very good, considering it's a hybrid. It isolates better than I expect. I can't remember the exact dBs, but they do isolate very well, and they do look very funky while they're at it. So pounds and sensitivity, these are harder to drive than you'd expect. They're not super hard. They're just harder than you. As long as you got a good enough dongle, it's more than enough to like have a good experience with these. But yeah, they are a little bit harder to drive, so just bear that in mind. Obviously nothing too bad at all. Yeah, so Soundstage was okay. Sometimes it sounds a little bit compressed, and sometimes it sounds big, so it just depends on what you listen to. But it didn't sound super tight, but it just sometimes sound a bit compressed, but it's not too bad. So yeah, let's talk about instrument separation. I thought it was very good. I'll normally talk about this in the treble region, but I'll just talk about it now. Yeah, so I thought it was very good, very clear. And there's also, I found it very coherent, considering it's a hybrid. If I didn't know that, you'd probably never know just from how it sounds. So I was quite happy with it. So yeah, let's talk about sound. So I'll overlay the graph now so you can have a look. And yeah, these have a different tuning than I expect. So they have a slightly sub-bass emphasis. So as a negative for this, they are mid-bass light. Now, for me, that's not my tuning. I want a little bit there. This is super light in the mid-bass. So there's a limited to few genres, so they can sound thin. So these are more sub-bass orientated. I typically like electronic music, and these don't suit that. But this is the tuning. I found on some other pieces of music, it sounds so clean because you do have lack of bass. So you have to just depend if that suits your library with a thin amount of mid bass. But the DD seems to be high quality, and it seems to be fast. I think they've dampened it quite a lot, but bear that in mind. And yeah, that's kind of the bass really. Doesn't suit what I like, but it may suit what you like. So mid-range can sound a little bit thin because it doesn't have that bleed from the upper, like the mid bass. It goes into the lower mids. It just it depends if that suits your style of music, but it can sound thin. But because of that, it sounds super clean and transparent. There's a very transparent IM, so what you see is what you get with these. Nothing gets masked or hidden, shall we say, is a good way of doing it. Upper mid-range is a little bit forward. Wasn't shouted out, but it is a little bit forward, so just bear that in mind. And apart from that, that's the mids. So treble, which is probably the what I like the least. Now, see, there's a little bit of imbalance. I did not notice that, to be honest. And that there can be a little bit spicy, depends on what you listen to. So like there's that like 3K peak. That's probably the only kind of bad part. There's a step like 12ish, but I didn't really notice that. And maybe the 8K peak. I don't think it's all coupler resonance, but I think there's something there. So the 3K, and I'm sure there's something in the 8K area. I'll have to do a sweep to check, but yeah, apart from that, they are a little bit bright, but again, they are detailed IMs. They do sound very, very good though. Like, I've tried this with orchestral, and they do sound very, very clear, so you have to bear that in mind. And they do sound quite natural, considering it's a 3BA setup and the DD. They do sound quite clear, so as in natural, sorry. So they do sound quite natural. So I was actually quite happy with the tuning on these. It's a Moondrop kind of soft ears tuning, so you have to bear that in mind. But I do like, there's no BS. What you see is what you get kind of tuning with the treble. And yeah, I'll probably end it there without going on too long. So conclusion, these sound more expensive than they are. So them $80. If somebody said to me, oh well, Vortex, these are $160, so twice the price, that would be worth that. These are, as you saw from the internals, a lot of effort has gone into these in the background. So yeah, they're a good set. The only real negatives for me is a little bit of a spicy treble, the light mid bass hit, shall we say, and the cables okay, and that's it really. They do perform very well apart from that, and they do sound more expensive than they are. They are a good set. Just depends if that tuning suits what you want. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And obviously these are meant to sound like a Blessing 2. I've never tried that, unfortunately, or the Dusk model, which seems to a lot of people like, apart from the timbre of it. But yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Good set, worth more than what it's worth, as in the cost. And yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it for anything in particular. Let me know in the comments, and yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Take care. See you in the next video.